Our universities account for more than $1.4 billion of research expenditures each year, research that fuels innovation, new technologies, and new businesses. We're committed to moving university-based research into the marketplace. The University Research Corridor produces more than one invention disclosure every day and dozens of startup companies each year. Each of the universities has made a major investment in our tech transfer and business development efforts, and these are ongoing as we try to continue to refine to be best in class, not simply in Michigan, but around the world in terms of tech transfer. So let me review today's program with you as we get started. Each of us have made some introductory comments, and we'll turn it over to Jeff then to review the initial goals he worked with based on the conversations with the executive committee of the URC. And this is sort of a roadmap of sorts to help us maximize the URC potential over time. When he wraps up, we'll open up the conversation for question and answers on a variety of topics that you might want to raise. So, Jay, let me turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Luana. Well, the report that's being released today, the Anderson Economic Report, is the third. This is the third, pretty close to annual report. And what it does is follow up on a number of benchmark measures that we've been looking at since really the inception of the URC. And it's a very quantitative, objective analysis by the Anderson Economic Group. We're tracking how we do in comparison to other knowledge regions of the country, and by that we mean there are actually now 7, we're the youngest, 7 university consortia around the country. They're very impressive groups. We happen to be the youngest. The oldest is Research Triangle in North Carolina. It's a consortium for research and development of Duke, University of North Carolina, and North Carolina State. And so we're benchmarking ourselves against those competitors, colleagues, I guess is the way we would put it. And as Luana said, one of our real benchmarks is our research expenditures, and we're at $1.4 billion among the 3 institutions. And I think one of the things that's important as you look at that number is what it means in terms of economic impact. And it, plus the rest of the things we do, has an economic impact of $14.5 billion in Michigan. If you look at that as return on investment from state investment, it's a $16 return for every dollar that the state invests in our 3 institutions. So the economic impact is very powerful. As I said, there are 6 others in the country. They're all older than we are. And they're all very impressive. I said Research Triangle is the oldest, and we're beating several of them on a number of measures, which we're very, very happy about. I'll give you an example. The 128 Corridor Consortium is Harvard, MIT, Tufts. The Northern California Consortium is Stanford, University of California, Berkeley, University of California, San Francisco. So this is very stiff competition, and we're doing extremely well. One of the other measures, patents granted, we've actually moved up since 2 years ago. We're now 3rd among the group. We were 6th at the beginning of the development of our consortium. I think the message is this. You know, we heard for a long time, look at 2009, about how Michigan has been bombarded with unhappy economic news. Well, during 2009, URC actually had happy economic news. So we're trying to move things in the opposite direction. One of the areas of real importance is the life sciences. Because a lot of what we've done and others as well, life sciences growth in Michigan has been 10.7% in the last couple of years. There's a lot of creative excitement around energy development, alternative energy development, and we actually have invested in that as a URC. So job creation, companies, all of this is driven by what we're talking about. So I hope you'll look at the Anderson Economic Report. It really tells a story of new promise in Michigan. I think I'll stop there and turn it over to Mary Sue.
Great, thanks. Well, I'd like to say how enjoyable it's been for me to see this all develop and how I've seen the deepening collaborations occur across the university, not only at the leadership, but at the dean's levels and vice presidents and economic development. And this is deeply satisfying because I firmly believe that we will all rise, we will all challenge each other to be better as we are collaborating to help the state. And we clearly understand that our future is deeply connected with the state's future. And we believe that we can be a positive force for change, and we want to do that. we're focusing on, as we strengthen our economic development and certainly find ways to leverage the research dollars that are coming into the state, is that we want to have a positive force in strengthening the sort of the entrepreneurial culture of the state. I think all of us feel like that while Michigan was very entrepreneurial at the beginning of the last century, that somehow we got complacent and we lost that. But we know it's here, we know the spirit is here because we've shown it in our history, so we want to get that back, and we're finding ways in which to get our students involved and really use our research prowess to really advance this culture of innovation with undergraduates as well as graduate students and faculty members, because we certainly think it's there. We're making major investments in facilities and in space for new technologies as we move forward. And I know that all of you have heard about, I've talked about it so much, is the old Pfizer facility, the North Campus Research Complex, and our hope for transforming that facility and using it in a way that can really jumpstart some of this innovation that we're talking about. We hope over the next 10 years that we will have created 2,000 new jobs just at that region. We're going to begin to move people into the facility. We've already made the announcement that the movement will start in March. We're being strategic about it. We've warned everybody that the full development is going to take a decade. This isn't going to happen overnight, but we think it provides an unprecedented opportunity not only for us at the University of Michigan, but also for the URC, because we want to get the URC sort of embedded in everything that we do. At the same time, we're doing this in Ann Arbor. Michigan State is reviving the former Pfizer facility in Holland on the west side of the state. And together, as we work on these kind of issues, we want to mitigate the negative consequences of having Pfizer leave in the first place. And we think that this will help add to this continued growth of life sciences. We talk a lot about alternative energy and the things that we can do in battery storage, and this is really important. It's an important area, green technologies, that the state can advance. But we don't want to ignore the fact that there is a huge investment already in life sciences. And when you think about the NIH funding, just the funding from the National Institutes of Health coming into the state is over $600 million now. We're growing at more than 10% in the life sciences industry. So let's not forget that, because that can be something that's maybe different from the big pharma of the past, is more distributed into smaller companies. But that is the way this industry is going. And we have the perfect opportunity in this state to take advantage of it in Holland and Ann Arbor. And at the same time, we've got this great happening close to Wayne State is Tech Town. When you look at that, at Wayne State University's incubator park there, and it's just amazing to see what's happened. In fact, we were just talking about, you can hardly find a parking place there because it's so crowded. They have tripled their clientele in Tech Town in 2009. And so that's part of what's happening here. It's diversifying the state's economy. We actually believe that the URC, in collaboration with many others in the state, is going to help remake the Michigan economy, and we want to be part of that. We understand that it is part of our responsibility. At the same time that all this is going on with the universities, we've watched the auto industry remake itself. The autos are going to be important in Michigan, we know that, but it's going to be different from what we've known in the past. It's going to be smaller, more nimble, more automated. Certainly, we want to be part of not only helping that development happen through our work on alternative energies and what we can do on research and development of the engines for tomorrow, but we also understand that we want to help the state reinvent and use some of that great talent from those industries to get into entirely new industries as we diversify the economy. So we are really excited about the future. When I look back over the last 3 years and sort of realize what's happened to make the URC a reality, I just couldn't be more proud, and taking the step to hire Jeff Mason to help be the person who wakes up every day and thinks about nothing but the URC. We do, the three of us do have other jobs. But this is really, I think, the next step that is going to take us to the next level. So Jeff, I'd like for you to talk